make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So, you know, he would have to come up. And, you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat you with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is reportedly gearing up to take on Devin Haney in the 140-pound division. He has agreed to the rehydration terms and exudes full confidence, believing his abilities outmatch every potential opponent.
We're still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said, it's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like in Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We try to make it happen.
Devin Haney remains firm that the fight with Shakur Stevenson will take place, demonstrating both determination and commitment, making it clear that he genuinely wants this matchup.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is gonna demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin's fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell.
Shakur Stevenson states that he isn't intimidated by Devin Haney, though Devin's team could potentially try to portray Shakur as deliberately dodging the fight.
Stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing
but
to
do you
make the
see
fight
it as
happen.
it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole plot is like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Shakur Stevenson believes he operates on a whole different level, confident that no fighter can beat him and that Devin Haney lacks the power to knock him out.
Line just to move up to 140.
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then, you know, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all.
Devin Haney is determined to prove his worth, aiming to face elite fighters like Shakur Stevenson to cement his status as a top-tier boxer.
Didn't become undisputed, yet they didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And It seemed like I was saying this on my live earlier. You tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, you know, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? You know, as far as like people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed. So they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way that they've...
Bill Haney states that they won't move down or wait, meaning any fighter wanting the bout must step up to 140 pounds.
During our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. You know, they're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, you know, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, you know, we'll never do it. Obviously, you know, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, you know, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said...
He adds that the fight can take place whenever the challenger is ready.
Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the sense of becoming 3-time undisputed and, you know, going up to, you know, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. You know, he already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. You know, Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you know, you have guys like Turki Al-Sheikh that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, you know, make these big fights.
He believes Shakur Stevenson has the potential to surpass even Terrence Crawford in boxing history. Crawford is undeniably on the sport's Mount Rushmore, a 5-division champion with remarkable accomplishments. However, Bradley feels Shakur, much like Crawford, has the talent and skill to reach even greater heights. He clarifies that this isn't about matching Crawford's multiple undisputed titles or moving through numerous weight classes, but about the opportunities that weren't available to Crawford due to boxing politics at the time. Bradley notes that if figures like Turki Al-Sheikh had been active during Crawford's rise, bridging gaps between promoters, big fights against opponents such as Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and Dennis Ugas could have happened sooner, elevating Crawford's prominence even further. But he believes Shakur.
When Crawford was on his climb, you know, when Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas and, you know, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, you know, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, you know, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. You know, bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, you know, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters, hovering around 135, 130, you know, guys like, you know, O'Shaquie Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 130.
With that in mind, Shakur is stepping into an era where top talent in the 130 to 135 pound divisions is more accessible, giving him the chance to consistently face elite opponents. Names like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, O'Shaquie Foster, Gary Russell Jr., Dalton Smith, Ryan Garcia, and others fill Shakur's list of potential matchups. Bradley emphasizes that Shakur not only has the skill to compete with these fighters, but also the opportunity to defeat them, cementing his legacy and potentially surpassing Crawford in both influence and accomplishments.
I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial four kings. It was Devin, Ryan, T.O., and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the four kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
There's a significant obstacle in the way, but watching these two compete makes it clear that, aside from foul play, they're both extremely difficult to beat. That said, Devin Haney immediately fires back at Shakur, and Shakur responds in kind. This back and forth showcases the intensity and respect between top-level fighters. Early discussions even mentioned a Four Kings 2.0, featuring Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Gervonta Davis, drawing comparisons to the legendary era of Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Roberto Duran.
We had that four king era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and T.O., overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
Interestingly, Wilfred Benitez, often overlooked when discussing that era, managed to defeat Roberto Duran, who struggled against several of the original Four Kings. Duran only beat Sugar Ray Leonard once, was brutally knocked out by Hearns, outclassed by Hagler, and bested by Benitez. Despite these achievements, Benitez remained largely in the shadows. Similarly, modern fighters like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, and Teofimo Lopez have often overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. Yet Stevenson has started to stand out, particularly after his dominant performance against Teofimo Lopez. At the same time, Gervonta Tank Davis's legal troubles and reluctance to take fights further underscore the challenges and opportunities shaping today's boxing landscape.
After the fight, Conor Ben comes into the ring. They talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that. And now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money for the...
Bernie Thaw Boxer reacts to the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney matchup by highlighting the impressive legacies and accomplishments of both fighters. Shakur is now a 4-division world champion, a 2-time lineal champion, and a 2-time Ring Magazine title holder. He also became a 2-time unified champion at 130 pounds, having defeated top-tier opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who consistently rises to the occasion.
Accomplishments, because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. So he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner. 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. So he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion, and that was it. He was in his prime too, Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140. Not taken away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying. Lomachenko.
Devin Haney, meanwhile, is a 3-division world champion and was once an undisputed title holder. Bernie stresses that if Shakur wants to face Devin directly, he should do so without hesitation. Taking on Devin in his prime would leave no room for excuses and ensure Shakur gets full recognition for a monumental achievement. According to Bernie, both fighters are elite, but defeating Devin at his peak would further solidify Shakur Stevenson's legacy as one of the top fighters of his generation, showcasing his skill, determination, and championship-level ability.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teal's athletic, Teal's experienced, he's fought on a high level. And, you know, they were critical of Shakur. Oh, he ain't fought nobody and this and that.
Yeah.
He made Teal look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. Made him look like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teal go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning, even the time when...
Shakur Stevenson recently delivered a dominant performance against Teofimo Lopez, and Bussy in his highlights just how impressive it was, especially considering Shakur fought almost entirely with one hand. His jab, boxing's most vital weapon, was sharp and precise, controlling distance flawlessly. Every movement was calculated and effective, showcasing a level of technical mastery that made Lopez appear amateurish despite his experience and athleticism. Many critics had questioned Shakur's resume, claiming he hadn't faced top competition, but against Lopez, he silenced all doubters. Technically, Shakur executed everything perfectly, and Lopez struggled simply because he was up against Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur, no, you could have got stoppage too, but Shakur hurt his left hand. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah,
off the
jab and then
you know what I mean? And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we could hear you on the TV.
Yeah, that's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But he looked spectacular, man. You know what I mean? You can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it.
Even with his left hand slightly injured, Shakur maintained control throughout the fight, relying heavily on his jab and only using his left hand sparingly due to the injury. Buzzy points out that Shakur could have secured a stoppage if needed, yet he managed the bout intelligently despite the discomfort. The performance highlighted not just his skill, but also his ring IQ and composure. Fans in Philly and beyond witnessed a masterclass, with Shakur asserting himself as one of boxing's elite talents. Even while injured, he dominated the fight, proving that greatness isn't about perfect conditions. It's about skill, heart, and unwavering focus.
Fight that even remotely sparks my interest for Shakur Stevenson is this guy right here, Devin Haney. Look at them, they're the same size. Obviously, Devin's moved up to 147. Shakur demands a catch weight. We'll see if Devin goes for the bait, because I think Shakur Stevenson, there's no doubt about it, he has the skills to compete at 147 to be 5-weight division champion. I feel like that would be...
The fight between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney is one fans are eagerly anticipating. Both bring exceptional skill, speed, and determination, making every moment in the ring unpredictable and intense. Fans are dissecting their styles and past performances, debating who will emerge victorious. Every punch and every movement matters, with the stakes higher than ever. Shakur's technical mastery meets Devin's agility and power, setting the stage for a clash that promises fireworks. The energy around this fight is electric, and it has the potential to define both fighters' careers, delivering one of the most memorable bouts in recent boxing history.